Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Plex Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Plex Christmas movies.
I'm Alonso, and which one was Plex again? And this
is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello.
Oh, man.
Party people. It's
Party
another
people.
Monday.
Yeah, it is.
We've done some big stuff.
We have done.
Prime.
Yeah, but we got to Plex.
We got the Plex by week 3. But there's a reason, and we'll get to it in a second.
Yeah.
I watched it on Peacock.
Yes, it's now everywhere.
Yes, that's right.
It was originally
Plex had
just
first
a
dibs.
play. Yes.
Yeah, now
Right.
it's
Everyone's getting in on the action.
That's when you know it's good. It's so
everywhere
good.
aside from the Megaplex. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
It's not in theaters anywhere.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good evening and good night.
Good night, wherever you're listening to this. Alonso, hi there, buddy. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday.
Happy.
How's your January going, Brand? I know you've had a cruise, you had a flu. How are things?
I am. I'm doing much better. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, he's got a lingering cough. You might hear
it's a lingering cough. It's a lingering cough.
Be okay.
But I'm doing quite well, and I'm excited because it's Decky's week.
It's Decky's week. This Thursday, 3 days.
Wow.
From the prestigious fourth annual
I think it's
Decky's.
I should pick up my souvenir issue of Us magazine. I'm sure it would tell me which year of the
fourth annual
Deckies
Decky's. 21, 22, 23, 24. We did not do it in. Did we do it in 20? It might be the 5th annual Decky's.
No,
yes,
we
Sarah.
did.
I
No.
was in the audience twice. Then I produced one.
Okay, so this is the
This is the
4th annual
fourth.
Decky's. We have
All
confirmed.
right, woo!
And here's the
This is
deal.
the
I'm sure it's been nonstop at your house, Alonso, because last Thursday when Dave White found out he was nominated for a Decky,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you've not heard the end of it.
We had to hire a publicist. And
Well,
it was like we had to get the one outfit for the Deckies and then another outfit for the Vanity Fair Deckies party. And, it's a whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And look, you've won in that category before.
You have.
So
It's true. It's true. And I never lord that over.
What's
and
better
you-
for
and
you if he wins as well, and then you can be a household full of winners, or to be able to hold that over him for the rest of his life?
I mean, I'm kind of a winner either way, because either I get to sort of still gloat about my triumph, or I can finally sort of quash that undercurrent of seething resentment I feel from him.
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
So it's all good for me.
Yeah, either way works for you. You'd be happy for him to keep that seething resentment. I got to be honest. We don't get to vote on these things. It's purely the double deckers. We don't know. I try to stay out of it until I get the card actually in my hand to announce the winner as best I can. Anyway, and I just. Man, it's just going to be high drama in the Duralde household, in the Duralde White household. Excuse me. It just is. It's just. I just because on one side that category is stacked.
Yes.
So, but on the other side, 2 Decky winners under the same roof. Right. If that happened, and
hey, look, it's an honor just to be nominated,
Yes.
which I can say because I won.
That's right.
And you're no longer eligible because you're an actual co-host.
You're
now.
a friend.
Yeah,
no longer an
exactly.
intern.
I work
Yeah.
there.
Brandon
so
and
too bad.
friends.
Yeah, you got a 1099 and everything. You just
Serious stuff now.
Yeah.
Well, really excited for Dave and really excited to see how it all shakes out this Thursday. Live. 9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern.
Deckdahallmark.com/Deckies. It's going to be a really good time, I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
You never know what's going to happen.
You
never know
certainly
who's going
don't.
to show up.
I think we do know who's going to show. Well, I mean, you mean on video? Yeah, you're right.
Well,
you're right, yeah.
or just like
in
you know.
person. Yeah. Got a lot of guests to show up at lined up.
I
to show up
have
in
put
person.
out an in-person request for the owner of the Red Lobster on Pleasantburg to show up.
Dude, if you get him to come in.
And I don't know if he's going to come. He hasn't
said one way or the other.
Hasn't said one way or the other.
Because there's no seats in here. It's pretty tight.
Well, he'd get to come. He'd
be in the. Yeah, I got
slide
you, of
in.
course. Yeah, we can get Brian out of here.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, and his name is Brian too, which is actually really cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, then
Brian-
who would even know?
Brian from
Yeah,
Red Lobster.
who would even notice?
And I do think anybody, if the option was to replace our Brian with Brian from Red Lobster, I think everybody would be
I think even Brian Harold would be like, you have to
for
do
the bread
that.
for the bread alone.
Yeah.
For the cheddar bay.
Are there Cheddar Bay biscuits?
For the Cheddar Bay biscuits
for the bread alone.
You can keep the fish. Cheddar Bay biscuits, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Marcus Rosner. Let's talk about Coupled Up for Christmas. This actually was a movie that I wasn't aware existed.
Me either.
I don't really
has
know
a
much
production
about
company.
Yes.
He's in a lot of these. We're dear friends with Marcus. He's wonderful. But I didn't know that he had churned this one out.
So I'm minding my own bees. A couple, over the holiday season.
Yeah.
And I get a video, text message out of the blue from Marcus. And I do think we have that video.
We have that.
We have that video. Yes.
Brand, Dan, Brian, it's Marcus Rosner. Coming to you from one of the most Christmassy places on earth, Rockefeller Center. And I was inspired to make a special request to you to see if you might be willing to watch our Northern Gateway Films and Real One Entertainment produced Christmas flick, Coupled Up for Christmas, available right now on Paramount Plus, Plex, and Peacock. It stars myself and Sarah Canning. Very proud of this film, produced it myself along with our team at Northern Gateway. And I was really hoping you'd give it the full Deck the Hallmark treatment. Pull no punches. I know I don't need to say that to you, Dan, but yeah, I'd love that.
There he is.
Marcus is doing great there. I'm not convinced that's him. I think that is Christian Bale in method. Christian Bale is doing a method acting role.
Of playing Marcus?
Playing Marcus Rosner for just that video.
Very specific. A great jacket.
It is. It is a great jacket.
This is what I sent him, and I want to put it out there on the record as well. I said I love that jacket, and then I sent him a picture of this jacket, and I said a 1-for-1 trade, and he said deal. Ooh. So whenever he's ready to make good on that deal, I think we're ready to go. But
we have those bomber jackets laying around here.
We grossly overestimated how many people wanted a bomber jacket.
Yeah, we did.
Hundreds lying around, just lying around, ready to be shipped. DeckTheHomer.com/shop. Please.
It is my favorite piece of merch we've ever done.
Please.
Aside from the picture of the pants on a shirt that says my pants, obviously.
Please buy the bomber jacket.
So it keeps the lights on here in the studio.
We don't have the space. I'm being moved out of my office because we bought so many bomber jackets. Anyway, we heard the
wears
challenge.
A different one every day.
I do.
You could get one worn by Brand.
Yeah, I'll sign it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. This one's a little too small for me. I like to see if maybe I'm getting any. The smoothies aren't working yet.
It's early.
We're doing a thing. It takes a while for a thing to take off.
2 smoothies a week. That's going to fix our problem.
I'm trying. Yeah.
Not going to pick up those calories.
Chased by 20 receipts.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's 1 per sip. That's
Anyway,
exactly right.
That's exactly right.
That's
so one,
dessert.
it's a
That's
1
not
for
the
1
meal.
Anyway, we heard Marcus's challenge, and we said challenge accepted. And so here we are, the 3rd week of January, to do Coupled Up for Christmas. It originally aired on the Plex on November 1st. 2023, and it went a little something like this. We kick off with potentially the fastest meet cute in the world. A woman named Tiffany is on a bench sketching a hot Santa. A guy named Peter sits down, and she awkwardly thinks that he's about to hit on her, but he just wants to tell her that they accidentally switched luggage. Awkward. She gets home excited to reconnect with her long-lost love, Goose. Except Goose has been gotten. She's shocked.
Cooked. Goose has been cooked.
Oh, that's good too.
The goose got.
The goose got. She's shocked to see that Goose brought a girl home, and they are quite the item. Apparently, they're all spending Christmas together. They do this every year, and she was planning on telling Goose that she loves him. After all these years, I'm ready to tell you how I feel. I love you. We find out that he actually did that before going to the Peace Corps, and she said no go. But now she's ready to kind of make good on that. And so she is shocked. She can't believe it. I can't believe Goose has a girlfriend. And so she goes to the bar to mope and sees Peter there, who is also moping because he came into town to win back his ex-girlfriend. But now she has a boyfriend herself. So they decide that the best course of action is to do a fake relationship and hope that it makes their true loves jealous. The family is shocked when she returns home with a boyfriend. Peter is there, and is like, "Yeah, it's my boyfriend." Tiffany explains,
"Is he Irish?"
Yeah, it's my boyfriend.
It's my boyfriend.
That's right. They do Christmas activities, obviously, which are a part of the Christmas ball, but they aren't the Christmas ball. That's later. It's all connected though, these activities, and so they do some snowman stuff. They decorate Christmas trees out in the open, and it's at this Christmas decorating contest that he sees the ex-girlfriend, and she comes over and is like, "What are you doing in my town?" And he's like, "Well, this is my girlfriend," and she's skeptical that he has a girlfriend who also happens to live in my hometown.
As she should be.
Yes. So she's skeptical until she witnesses them singing Christmas karaoke together.
And
you can't fake it.
No, you can't. And then
can't.
She's like, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend.
Yeah. Nice.
Think you need a new one.
Here's the thing. We want the real Avril back. We know that Avril,
oh my gosh.
that specific year, went missing. She's been replaced. We're all aware of it. Right, Aaron? 100%.
Are we starting a new podcast where we deep dive into the Avril Lavigne conspiracy?
Avril Lavigne is where it's just.
I will deep dive about
the
that.
The current Avril is not the real Avril.
This is absurd.
She went missing
You've lost your mind.
She went missing in 2004. Something like that.
I heard she died.
Yeah, I think she died.
And her body double, like, they paid her to take over, and that's why her hair is so blonde. That's why
you've lost your mind.
You think the real Avril would marry Chris Kroger?
I think so, yeah.
What about Chad Kroger?
Dang it.
Chris Kroger is the founder of the Kroger grocery stores. But he did write Photograph.
Anyway. Bring Avril back.
Avril's here. Don't be a hater, boy.
We'll see you later, boy.
Later, boy. Tiffany's snooping around and discovers.
That's maybe my favorite moment of 2024 so far.
Wow.
The whole thing.
Good.
Well, not the hater, but that was terrible. The whole thing.
Tiffany's snooping around.
Kroger especially.
I was doing so good with the cough.
The music's going to run out. Alonso could have showed up 30 minutes late.
I wish there was someone else in the studio who could have written a synopsis.
Tiffany's snooping around and discovers an engagement ring in Goose's bag. She decides, she's obviously sad because it's like, oh my gosh, he's really moved on. So she decides to try it on. And trying it on, it gets stuck on her finger. And so she goes downstairs, she's like, Peter.
Pumpkin
and
Daniel, let him get through this.
Oh my gosh. Peter, Pumpkin Eater. You were so fast on that.
It was the way you said it.
Peter. Come help me. They go outside, does the classic put the hand in the snow trick, which shrinks your hand. I don't know if that is how that works. But anyway, in doing this, the ring does come off, but it looks like Peter's proposing to her. And her mom is watching from the window, and it's like, yes, they go outside, they're celebrating. And so now it's fake fiance situation. She has a heart-to-heart with Goose, and the girlfriend watches this happen and is like, they clearly have chemistry. Then Peter's ex shows up. Man! Peter Pumpkin Eater!
Sounds like things are getting complicated.
So complicated! Right? That's the thing. And I'm like, why? Why'd you have to go and make those things so complicated? I see the way you're acting like you're somebody else.
Yeah.
It's getting me frustrated.
I'm so frustrated. There are more, but we'll get to them later. Oh, what the hell? Let's get to them now.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, really proud of you for knowing that's an Avril Lavigne song.
Yeah, I'm here to help. Thank you.
So then Peter's ex-girlfriend
Chris Kroger
shows up, and she's now single. Tiffany tells Goose's girlfriend, that she's happy. Tiffany tells Goose's girlfriend that she's happy for them, but spills the beans that they used to have feelings for each other. She did not know this. So she is now putting together they had feelings. Also, they had big sparks when they were talking at the kitchen. What am I even doing here? So when he proposes, she says no and runs away. Peter leaves and with his ex, because now I guess they can be together. And he's like, you know what? You don't like me. We're not a good fit. You never want me to do flowers. And so he's like, this isn't going to work. And I also think that I really like Tiffany, so he runs back. Goose and his girlfriend make up. They double propose to each other, and Peter shows up at the Christmas ball. They tell each other that they like each other. They kiss, and that, my friends, was Coupled Up for Christmas.
For Christmas. We did it.
We sure did. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll break this movie down with 4 segments. Here on
Deck the
Home. I'm sorry. I paused too long. So pregnant.
I just want to clear something up.
The pause
was so pregnant.
Yeah. Let's talk about Coupled Up for Christmas. It's time.
Could we?
It's time for the hot take. Alonso, what do you think about Coupled Up for Christmas? Marcus Rosner wants to know.
Look, I love a fake fiance movie. That's one of my favorite tropes of these goofy things. Even though at the end they're going to get to a point where, honestly, you're never going to find me faking.
Hey, yeah. He acts like he's over the bits, and then he's like, surprise, got him.
He's here to shred.
I love it.
Shred.
Yes.
Just wanted to see if you were paying.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm not mad at this movie. It is slight, and it is not reinventing anything. But as a let's do this trope movie goes, I thought it was done pretty well. And Rosner and Canning are old, veterans at this. They're pros, and she's really impressing me as one of the people in these movies who's willing to do comedy. And it's like if Nikki DeLoach and Ashley Williams, whom I love, are going to really just go hard on the sads, then we need a new crop of your Vicks and your Sarahs here to really bring the chuckles.
I like this movie overall. I thought, first of all, pretty funny. I really thought Marcus in particular got to do some funny comedy stuff, which was great. There was a time towards the end of this movie, we're pretty deep in.
Yeah.
And Dan and I are looking at each other and they're like, are they gonna
I don't know if we actually thought it was going to happen, but we did say out loud.
Is this going to happen?
Right after they do the pinky promise with the kiss on each side.
Because those sparks were legit.
And we were like, wouldn't it be something?
Wouldn't it be something?
If they actually...
If these shenanigans work.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
For the first time ever.
On one hand, that would be amazing. On the other hand, so much for my happy ending. They didn't do that, the way that the movie ended was whatever. But overall, I thought it was really, really, really solid, and I'm happy that I got to watch this movie. Of the Marcus Rosner movies that I've seen over the past 3 months, this is my favorite one. Dano?
I think that is an obvious statement. The last one, I think. Here's the thing. This movie's a mixed bag for me. I think some of the characters' motivations go anywhere from unhealthy to psychotic in this movie. And it's of the fake relationship movies, the people that the two leads, their reasoning for it is it's Norman Bates level. Sarah Canning is funny in this movie, but she's also psychotic. I think
when she puts the ring on,
when she's putting the ring on, I'm like, what is happening right now, bro? But not only like that's tough. Some of the actors that aren't A, B, C, D on the call sheet, you can tell were brought in on the cheap to just try to like get this thing done. But they don't have the budget of a Hallmark movie, and that's evident. But you know what sticks out as being very well done? Number one, they let this fake relationship bit go on the appropriate amount of time. It's not a device to get these two people to go do cookie decorating and Christmas tree lighting and to fall in love for an hour 20. They are both characters an hour into this thing are both still convinced that they're supposed to end up with their exes. And I found that really, really impressive. It does have two moments that made me laugh out loud. I never laugh out loud in these movies. I think both Marcus Rosner, who doesn't get to play funny a lot, and Sarah Canning both had really good comedic timing. And also, it's clearly very cold where they are. Yeah. It is clearly cold. It is real snow throughout the movie. Sometimes you get some little flakes in the background during the scene. So from a Christmas feel standpoint, while some of the decorations seemed like, did we just put up a folding table and a sheer tablecloth out in the middle of yes, we did. But the real snow, real cold helps this. So the leads, their commitment to the bit of the fake relationship, and the real snow is all great. The movie's kind of, I think its budget holds it back, but I do think movies with $2-3 million budgets could look at this as a good blueprint of going, you don't need all of this money to make something that can fit in this genre.
I thought it looked really good. Just visually, by and large, I felt like this was on par with the Hallmark movies. Like, by and large, what you see,
there's clearly skimping on cast, background actors, and locations.
I'm just talking about the look of it. Like, I thought.
But like the house was nice, the bar looked good. Even the goofy outdoor artificial Christmas tree decorating thing, it looked
plenty
like
of
there was some
there. Yeah, in fact, the things that don't work for this movie, aside from how extreme some of these characters are going for someone that is literally not them and has told them no, is the fact that when they try to kind of square peg round hole a Christmas feature, like the decorating of the tree, like that stuff. The movie's Christmassy enough. Like the stuff for the snowball is the worst part of this movie. And so that's saying something. But I will say this, Rosner getting to play and be funny, great. And their commitment to doing this and how it looked also great. So not my thing and plenty to pick apart, but considering the budget and everything involved, you could do a lot worse.
And no one said golf game.
No one said golf game. No one said a game of golf.
Yeah. No one said that.
Which we found out.
Can we say no? Okay. So you're happy. You're happy that you can do that. It's time for the All the Feels part of the show. It's where we share, what gave us feels? Any Christmas feels or anything of the sorts. Alonso?
Well, to piggyback on what Dan was just saying about the actual cold, I wrote down among my feels, visible breath.
Yeah.
And there's an actual emotional scene taking place in an actual snowfall. Like there, when he's talking to her about his past and the snow is swirling around them, like, oh my God, this is the thing that movies will shell out crazy money to try and fake, and they're just getting it. Like they've got it there, and so I was really impressed with that. I love comedy of mortification. I love where people are just embarrassing and digging themselves deeper into their own hole, and this movie committed to that bit, which I liked. And I have to say, the Yule log thing, for all of the tree lightings and cookie decoratings and carnivals or whatever we've seen in this movie, that was a new thing that I'd never seen in one of these movies before. Kind of a cool tradition. They used it as a way to communicate plot and character things, and it was just novel.
I just think I really wish that would have been at night. The fire roaring. I think that is. I
liked it though as a Christmas device of pouring one out for your homie.
Correct.
It's I can make a tribute or something. Yeah. That's nice. I like that. Yeah.
It's never good enough for Daniel.
What if it was at night? Someday, not everything can be at night, Dan.
That what you're describing is better than what we see in the movie. In the movie, she's holding a stump or a little like a thing and going, "Look at these things I drew." He draws a thing. You don't even get to see it, and then they chuck it in what we think is a fire. Like it's not like everyone's sitting around with marshmallows and s'mores and chucking their logs in, going, "This one's for such and such. This is for Chris Kroger."
How dare you violate the Yule log ceremony with a marshmallow? That is.
Oh, you can't eat anything around the Yule log. I'm out. I'm out.
How could you even think of it?
I hate to find out that Chris Kroger just passed. That was actually that's just tough. So let's just take a moment of silence.
Yeah, pour one out for Chris Kroger.
Exactly
We'd all have to go Krogering.
To Alonso's point, I love it when like a character makes a mistake and that mistake snowballs. Like I think it's just always funny. And this movie has one of the best incidences of this that I can recall, where she puts on the ring and you're immediately like, don't do that. Yeah. And then it gets stuck. And so then she runs downstairs and then they go outside and then it looks like a proposal and it's just all getting away from her. And that whole sequence of like 2 minutes, I like just worked for me. Anytime a movie is actively getting me to move, like I'm like, no, you're doing a good job. And so that whole sequence really worked for me. Dano?
I loved when Marcus Rosner said, "Catch you on the flip." I thought that was a legitimately funny moment in this movie, and it felt like it wasn't written in the script. It very well might have been, but a really good throwaway line that caught me off guard, and I enjoyed that scene.
Never have
much.
You felt more like Marcus Rosner.
That's right.
You love saying
anytime if I say something, somebody didn't respond, I always go, "Good talk," and then when I don't hear anything else, I go, "Catch you on the flip." I do that all the time, so I appreciated Marcus very much there.
Catch you on the flip.
Yeah.
Well, let's catch the listeners on the flip. On the other.
Oh. Yeah,
Thanks.
that was a good one.
We're taking a break, is what I'm trying to say. Here, take the homework.
Take the homework.
What's up, you DTH sickos? I don't know, man.
You know, Bran, I really can't join you there. Normally, I kind of say I'm with you, but there I just can't do it.
Okay.
That's where you get a no but instead of a yes.
That's right.
And.
Fair. Well, let's no but our way into the wait what. It's where we talk about what in this movie and just go, wait, what? Alonso, anything stick out to you?
I gotta say, I didn't find a ton of them. I mean, like, the movie asks you to sort of accept this fairly extreme, premise, but once they commit to that premise, everything that happens sort of unfolds in a way that makes sense for it, I think. For me, the big one was in the, we're in the Christmas tree contest, and one of the teams is the sister and the bartender, and they start putting the lights in the middle. And
listen,
how, what?
There is, not only are they putting the lights in the middle, Brandon and I talked about this. They are putting them, one of them's putting it 40% up, the other one's 60% up, which is bad. Worse than that, you can't do that at the same time. You cannot look, my kids love helping decorate the tree. When I start stringing lights up, my kids are asking, "Can I help?" And I'm like, "You can hold this bundle of lights as I string them, but if you get on the other side of the tree and try to string lights while I'm stringing lights, you've got yourself a mess, an absolute mess." So the scene doesn't make any sense because they're lighting from the middle. It doesn't make any sense because they're trying to do it at the same time and at different locations on the tree.
And meanwhile, Sarah Canning is deciding that she's going to hang garland vertically.
Oh yeah, we got there.
It's a vertical garland. Saw him live.
I was like, "What's going on with the garland?" Oh, okay, interesting.
So,
yeah,
everyone deserves to lose this.
Maybe
contest.
that's a Canadian thing. Maybe they do garland vertically.
And their toilets go in the opposite direction.
They sure do. You guys with your vertical garland, your healthcare, weirdos. Anything else, Alonso?
That's kind of it.
Wow.
Like I said, I mean, you can point to the general absurdity of the premise, but once that premise gets rolling, everything that happens within it feels like it's under the umbrella of, well, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. I have a few. One, I'm not upset Hot Santa exists. I do want to know why Hot Santa exists. Why is this guy trying so little to look like a legit Santa.
To have that as the first scene of the movie too makes it seem like this movie is going to be a lot like more slipshod than it is.
And I thought he was going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Chekhov's Hot Santa.
That's
they
right.
never. We hear his real
Right.
name twice, but there's never
There's
a
Hot
payoff.
Santa.
You and I saw Chekhov's Hot Santa live. What was that? December
of
16. That's right.
Yeah.
And we'll never forget it.
I'll never forget it.
right.
They broke up right after.
4 drink minimum.
Somebody shot a gun in there. We all had to get out.
Whoa.
I guess it's the third act.
That's exactly
He
right.
didn't get the joke. Brain didn't get the joke. That's the best part. Sorry. Go ahead.
Is this like a Lincoln bit?
Chekhov was a playwright,
Yes.
and Chekhov's gun is the idea that when you introduce something in the first,
nice.
if you introduce a gun in the first act, you have to fire it in the third act.
Oh, nice.
So it's a screenwriting reference to, like, if you're going to bring up Hot Santa early in the movie, that there needs to be some reason for Hot Santa to exist by the end of the movie. And this one there is.
Yeah. No, I got that, but I do appreciate you explaining it for the folks at home.
My
So there is a friend and a bartender who also, by the way, I thought they were going to be a C love story. They weren't. They just kind of existed in this movie. But they're having a conversation about how this is all going to shake out. And the bartender's like, they're going to end up together. The people that are in the fake relationship, they're going to end up together. And the friend is like, no way that's going to happen. And so they make a bet about how this is all going to shake out. Later on in the movie, they're together, those two, and then Tiffany. And the friend goes to Tiffany, help us settle a bet. That's the one way you can't settle that specific
exactly
bet.
right.
You gotta let that bet play out. You can't, because now, that's not what the bet was. The bet wasn't, what do you think Tiffany thinks is going to happen?
Nope.
The bet is, what do you think is going to happen?
What will Tiffany do?
Yeah, what is she gonna do? Last but not least, the conversation that Rosner has with his ex-girlfriend, where they kind of like, hey, like we're not like this is just isn't gonna work out. Fine conversation. Interesting that it happens in the middle of the road,
street. That's right.
Middle of the street. One, an interesting place for that conversation to happen, but two, really tough afterwards. Like, what do you say to her? Like, please walk in the other direction now. Like, you are both in a tough spot with that conversation happening in the middle of the street. You were walking down the street. We were both going this way.
I'm going to give you 5. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm just going to sit with my thoughts.
You get a 5-minute. You go to that side of the street. I'll stay on this side of the street. I don't know what you do.
Why is he walking in the middle of the street with his luggage?
Yeah, you have to
Why?
sometimes. You have to. Dano?
Didn't see Mean Girls.
Yeah. May I suggest to you that the theme for a snowball being an old-fashioned Christmas is the world's worst idea. Mainly because you have to handwrite everything, and that's one.
Well, here's
and
the thing about that is you don't. They just decided you had to.
They decided you had to. That's exactly right. I believe it's Goose says his parents have been on the ski slopes since 6 a.m. Are they night skiing? This is Canada. Like, you can't possibly get out there at 6 a.m. and think the sun is out.
It's not safe. The slopes aren't ready. They're not prepped for that.
They're not. We have to camp on two things, and they're both occupations. The first is Marcus Rosner's character he's considered a workaholic in this movie, which is a riot if you've ever met a workaholic. And secondly, he's on his phone constantly, and then we find out he's a florist. He's a florist. Listen, this is not to denigrate florists who have a very important job. But what could you possibly be doing round the clock on your cell phone on Christmas Eve as a florist who is not in the town of your local business? How many things could possibly need to be taken care of at that point, at that date?
Those poinsettias are not going to dance off the truck themselves.
I'm just saying,
Daniel.
if this was December 1, or if this was the week before Valentine's Day, you could make a case for, I'm busier than anybody else here. This guy is acting like, look, I'm the straw that stirs the drink over there. They can't run a florist shop on Christmas Eve unless I'm there, and I'm not there. And so I got to be here.
This dude is playing a design your perfect bouquet game and calling it work.
He's playing Florist Dash on his
Florist
phone.
Dash.
Yes, that's what he's playing.
Yes.
And as much as
small business owners, just so you know, Dan and Brand do not respect what you do or your importance to the
we're about to flip it right now. Don't worry.
Maybe your notaries.
As much as they.
Oh, hold on.
Notaries suck. I think we all can agree.
Don't say that's just us. We all can universally agree.
You know what the worst?
Notaries have no worth, no value.
The worst being on this earth is?
What's that?
It's a whale notary. So
is he on the line?
No.
Hey, Dan,
what is your name?
How did you know that I was a notary?
But you're not a whale. You're a whale guy.
I'm a whale guy.
Do you know any whales that are notaries?
I misunderstood what you said.
Yeah. And
that would be tough.
That would be tough. Yeah.
Little, waiting for those little fins to stamp it.
I don't even know how they would.
Whale guy isn't a whale?
No, whale guy is a guy.
Hi, Alonso. I love whales.
That's
I
right.
work with them.
I sound a little more like Brandon than I thought you would. Not to denigrate.
Oh, man.
Okay. Are we still doing this?
And stamp.
Whale guy, you're up for a decky. How do you feel? You're up for an actual decky.
I can't handle that.
Yeah, no, none of us can. I don't know how you got nominated.
Am I really?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh,
you're gonna lose though, because Christmas. Brand losing his Christmas spirit is also up for a decky, which I'm thrilled about.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled
that was
about
tough for everybody.
Yeah, it was
seeing that happen.
Did we not nominate the sandwich from that movie? Because I'm really
we
still
didn't
upset about
nominate
that.
the sandwich somehow, which is unbelievable.
Man.
So if you think this movie reveres the florist as the #1 occupation in the world, they hate accounting. If you're an accountant and watch this movie, they say so many things. Someone says, well, I'd love to do what I'm passionate about, but instead I'm an accountant. And then the response from Rosner is, it's hard to be passionate about what you do when it's accounting. What? Guys, there are really great accountants who love what they do out there and like are very, very important to what the rest of us do. I bet when
some of them aren't serial killers.
Yeah, I bet when you're texting your florist shop people at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve that your accountant's going to need to know about all those receipts, and you would hope that they're passionate about that, not feeling like they've reached the dead end of not dreaming big enough. Like, are you kidding me right now, movie? Like, you can't just...
But look, okay, that's clumsily phrased, but he's saying that obviously her passion is art and that she has turned her back on it.
But instead of saying, hey, it's clear you're not passionate about accounting, he says, it's hard...
No one could be
It's hard to be passionate about accounting. Why? Why? People love numbers. Numbers are some people's art. Like, they just are. You can't do that.
And so sometimes you're an accountant and a super assassin, like Ben Affleck as the accountant.
Right. Yeah, he was passionate about his work.
Love that movie.
A great movie. Also, you can't tell. It's so wild to me that accountants are all painted out as people who really wanted to be something else, and it just didn't work out for them, which is crazy to me.
People say that about film critics all the time.
Yeah, that's true, and you don't like it, I bet. Yeah, because you're
not.
living the dream. This is an actual line in this movie. I guess decorating all those orphanages really worked out in our favor.
I think she goes, and the kids too.
Yeah, she pauses, and then she's like, and the kids too. But it's something that they say, which I can't believe. I can't believe this guy just has been waiting to propose all week and can't wait another hour until people aren't busy decorating. He's waited all movie long. He's waited for a week in the cabin, and then everyone is busy. They're up against the clock, and he's like, I can't wait another second. I got to ask you to marry me right now. Ruin the whole thing. Like you literally, that's the one time maybe not to. But I will say this, Goose is the best dude ever because Sarah Canning's character basically says, I've created an entire fake relationship, tried on your ring that you were going to give, just so I could get you back. Then I told your current girlfriend that we had feelings for each other, all of that in any other movie would get some sort of just fury. And in this movie, he's like, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
you know.
bro, you've friend zoned me our whole lives.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, who do you think you are?
Yeah, them's the breaks.
Yeah.
You know, he just was so chill about this. I couldn't believe it.
And did you try on the ring?
All of this clicks in for Marcus Rosner when he opens her sketchbook and sees a sketch that, and I quote, might be him. This sketch is very generic.
Might be him as a quote?
No, I quoted myself. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I quoted
Holy
myself.
cow.
Yeah, might be him.
I didn't know who said it.
He opens up this sketchbook
And I
thinking
quote,
that she doesn't like him, looks at the page and sees something that looks kind of like him and is like, she loves me. He says the line out loud, I believe.
And I quote,
and he quotes, and they quote, she loves me. And that is all he needs. Yeah. He is walking down the street, sad sack Rosner, with his suitcase, realizes it's hers, sees a sketch that could be, she's sketching Hot Santa. It could be any number of bearded
very
man.
well could have been Hot Santa.
And he is so convinced that it's him. And it just doesn't look that much like him.
And even if it is him, she did sketch Hot Santa
That's right.
earlier, so it's not
the
like
idea
she
that
saved.
now she loves him is just crazy. It's crazy. That's all I got.
It's time for the and I quote, what the Hallmark segment. It's where we wonder what could have been, maybe, I guess, what the Plex, perplexed, I don't know, something like that. We'll wonder what could have happened.
Perplexed.
It's a really good one.
Thank you. Any questions that we still have that we would like answered? Alonso, what perplexes you?
Well, you touched on it earlier, Brand, which is the sister and the bartender. Like that, there's some major chemistry there, and
I'm glad I wasn't the only one picking up on what it was they were putting down.
No, absolutely. I'm like, okay, once they get to like the second hangout, I'm like, oh, well, these two clearly are gonna like get a place in Stowe, Vermont, or something. But yeah, no, it is the movie just drops it, and I don't know why.
It's a great.
They're going to get a place in the Stowe.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I do want to know just like a little bit more about this bar. What is it called again? The
Muletide.
The Muletide. Is it a Christmas pop-up? Is it always Muletide year-round with Christmas beverages? Because that sign does look pretty permanent. I don't know.
Well, the rest of the year they only do mules, like Moscow, Irish,
that was my thing.
Scottish,
and then someone orders a mule and she's served what maybe a margarita and a mojito got together. Like it's not like there's no mules in the movie.
But anyways, it's very clearly a Christmas themed cocktail bar. Is it that all year, or do they change it?
Yeah,
Dano.
There's a scene early in this movie, and I believe it is Rosner's ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend.
You follow that?
Who is they're supposed to be decorating a tree, and there's a ladder they bring out on the ice, and there's a tree, and then we pan away and we come back and we see him falling, and the tree is at a perpendicular angle to the ladder, which means I guess that he was on the ladder, it started to slip, he grabbed hold of the tree, fell to the ground, and then we never see him again. The rest of the movie. They say he's in the hospital, and then they say we broke up, and we don't see him. And I just want to know how that guy's doing.
He's dead.
That's
why it's easy to break up when you're dead.
How is he recovering from that week of his life that went from seriously dating someone to fall, hospital, broken up?
For the rest of his life, this guy is going to be like, what if I hadn't fallen?
Yes.
What if I hadn't fallen?
She pulls a total Newt Gingrich on him, basically. And like while he's in the ICU, is like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's not me, it's you, and we're done.
Maybe
here.
like in 20 years, Hallmark can do a mystery with a serial killer, and we find out it's him, and he's like, in the Christmas of 2023, my week started off great.
That you wanted more of this character is maybe the most Brian Harold thing you've ever said.
I want the fact that he disappears and had the worst week ever means either I want more, or We just need some justice for this guy.
I want to know, did he get broken up to in a hospital bed?
Yes.
Or how far out of the hospital did she wait? Like, if it's same day, I got to wait another day. And then the next day, you're probably just like...
more boyfriend hijinks from that guy. I just need to know, this guy took it on the chin more than accountants in this movie. Like, we needed something there.
Either while his ankle was suspended, or perhaps when she was like wheeling him out to the parking lot and said, "Yeah, we're done," and then just gave him a push and walked off.
Yeah, classic. It's a kind of push and break situation. Yeah, for sure.
Onto the ice.
Yeah.
Next week we're heading over to QVC.
QVC, easy for you.
Again.
Question of chives, I believe, right?
The Recipe Files.
Ooh, the Recipe Files.
With Ashley Simpson.
An hour and 12 minutes? Like
I don't know.
I mean, I hope so.
It's longer.
It's longer. With Ashley Simpson.
Wow. Should have saved all that Avril stuff for next week.
It's evergreen. Yeah, don't worry.
Right. We will be back next Monday. And, of course, we'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. What? For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.